So I'm back here with Daniel Lanzilotta in the Atelier Quattro in Biarritz, and we're going to talk about a little project we did today, canning some of the plastic he's found on the beach. The canning is a statement. I'll let Daniel, sorry Danny, I keep on calling Dan. I'll let Daniel tell us the deeper essence of this canning project.
Well, the pieces that I've done for the show called T Frequencies is a more high-end, more refined use of the plastic that I find, which is, it's everywhere. The plastic flies at me. So what I've done today is to take plastic that I find, plastic that I've had for 20 years that I found along the beaches, and we've canned them. And so I have the can here. This is the plastic, and it's a statement about the plastic in the food chain, how plankton ratio to food, the food that fish eat is, the plastic is 10% higher in the food that fish eat in the ocean. So 1% plankton, 10% plastic. It's the nanoparticles when plastic breaks down. It's not breaking down and disappearing. It's breaking down to the point where the fish, animal life in the ocean, can't tell the difference between plastic and food. They eat it. They can't digest it. It becomes part of almost a mitochondria of the cell. And this is a gigantic problem. And the food chain, where the big fish eats the little fish, and then humans eat the food out of the ocean, they're eating. These are hormone disruptors affecting the endocrine system, affecting human biology to the point where people, cancers and various other diseases. So I'm just saying, why go eat the fish when you can buy this wonderful can, packed in France, mind you, and eat it directly? It's a joke. It's a comment on how we're doing things.
I get it. Well, here you go. This is the joke. It's a serious joke. The plastic that we are eating is right here in this can. You could call it a joke. It's the lighter side of Daniel's artistic, statement. My earring, the necklace, the hat Daniel was wearing, very nice hat, Daniel. The sculptures, like you said, a little bit more serious. So the canning process and the food. So these products that are in the cans, you've been finding them?
I've been collecting plastic garbage from beaches for the last 20 years. And I've made many sculptures from them, but I've refined the techniques and the ideas behind it over many years. Some of the earlier stuff, mostly masks and things like that, are just representational of what was coming out of the ocean at that time. Now I've taken it and I've refined it, made it more conceptual, and much more skill is involved, and more thought process are involved in how I apply my skills to the plastic. So each plastic has its own personality, because plastic is based on chemistry. And every plastic that is out in the environment is specifically designed for its application. So one plastic in packaging is not going to be the same plastic formulations, but they all are basically coming out of the same petrochemical fossil fuel chemistry. I mean, that's what they're based on. So the fact that these chemicals are in the water, not just the ocean, they're everywhere. They're in groundwater. They're in rivers and lakes. This stuff is runoff. So in other words, if a car is driving, the tires are wearing out. No one's really thinking of the tire wearing out, but the dust from tires is going into the environment, not just in the air. When it rains, it's going down into the storm drain. The storm drains are going into the rivers. The rivers are feeding into the ocean, and the process is cyclical almost, because it just keeps coming, and then we take the fish out of the ocean, we eat it, and that's how we get sick.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, everything, as we said before, off camera, walking through the lovely town of Biarritz, everything goes downhill, and downhill is the sea level, the oceans, the seas. So, so you're making a bit of a lighthearted statement, but it's a lighthearted statement, but it's a big statement, and having a little fun with it, with your art, with your refined art, with your fun art, with your jewelry, with your hats. Thank you, Daniel, for bringing this to the fore, for bringing your artistic abilities into it, and bringing awareness and bringing fun to this awareness, but a big awareness that we should all be very
Absolutely.
Yep. Mindful of.
It's out of control. That's basically it. It's out of control. Plastic isn't going away. It's been around for a long time, and the early stages of the plastic industry, but way back when, from like Bakelite on to the polyesters and the polymers and the varnishes, and it's everywhere. The linings of cans and milk cartons and all this stuff, packaging, it's not going away.
It's not going away. Daniel's not going away, because Daniel's going to remind us with his artwork. He's going to remind us in everything he does in his life that has a purpose. He could bring art to people's life. He could bring joy to people's lives. And also, at the same time, remind us that we must be mindful of what is happening around us. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Nicola, my cameraman behind the scenes. Joe Diamidi, Telemon Braun, Biarritz, Atelier Quattro. Good night.